critique yourself that way, where you're not beating yourself up. You're not undermining the mindset that you're going to need to tap into. You're not trying to um, belittle yourself. You're not trying to shame yourself, but you're holding yourself to accountability. And that's a very, very hard line to walk as a human being, let alone placing it on the measurement of making money or losing and equating that to failure or successfulness. And you can't do that in trading, because you can be successful and still just taking very small losses, or getting into a trade and saying, oh, well, I thought I saw something here, but it really isn't there. And if I hold on to it, really what I'm doing is I'm gambling, because I don't feel confident about that setup. And I'm not going to wrestle and arm wrestle myself and say, well, if I get out, I know it's going to run and I'm going to regret that. No, a professional mindset doesn't think like that. You know who thinks like that? A gambler. This slot machine is cold. I've been putting money on it for 2, 3 hours. It ain't paying out nothing. But I know as soon as I get up, Larry over there in the corner who's eating. Dial it back, ICT. Slow down. Slow down. Someone else is going to slide on in when you get up, and you know what they're going to do. They're going to put enough money in, the ratio will be met, and then the machine will pay out. And then you'll say, I knew I was right if I just would have. Well, you can't do that in trading. You can't have a slot machine mentality, because if you're gaining the experience, learning how to navigate these markets, knowing what you're looking for, if that's not there for your trade, everything's not saying this is really what you should be in right now. You're all things are a go for this trade to be profitable. If those things are not, in fact, what's going on for your trade, then you need to kill it, or at the very minimum, take half the trade off and let experience guide you in the rest of it. But if you're honest with yourself right now, if we were in a conversation together, it was just the privacy of you and I talking, and I was saying, hey, have you ever had this experience where you knew you shouldn't have been in the trade, but yet you're still in it? Wouldn't you feel uncomfortable saying it publicly? You would feel uncomfortable, because you're equating it to, well, it's not something that people should blame. They shouldn't blame me for it. They shouldn't have uh, any harsh criticism because I'm trading. I'm doing more than you. And I was willing to hold on to the trade, even though I knew it was not likely to be profitable. I was able to hold on to it. So therefore, it makes me stronger. No, it makes you a gambler. It makes you a gambler. It makes you hold on to emotional stimuli for fear of feeling an emotional stimuli at a later time that was going to be regretful. Because if you're right, and you hold on to it, you're going to call that skill. And I'm here to tell you that's not skill. If you know your model's no longer in that setup, you're in there blind. You're like a sailboat in a storm with no rudder. Wherever the wind's going to carry you, that's where you're going to go. And if you make it to shore somewhere, you're going to call that port of destination where you intended to be. And that's a lie. That's a lie.